I've bought too many books recently. I have a series on my channel where I use a spinner wheel with every single book on my physical TBR. It randomly picks it and I read it. The last book will be picked with a spinner wheel of books that you voted for in the previous episode. The same thing will be happening in this one. So I'm just going to show you my physical TBR while we talk. Any book that you see that you want me to read, you can leave up to 3 books. And the 3 books with the top amount of comments will be added to a spinner wheel, and one of those 3 will be read in the next episode. A lot of authors that I have previously given 5 stars have put out new books this year. So I've been drawn in by that, special editions, monthly subscriptions. So I kind of took a little bit of a break from reading a lot from my physical TBR, and now we are back into it. This episode is going to be slightly different though, because this month I am co-hosting the Amazing Readathon hosted by Bree from 4 Paws in a Book. I'm on Team Steel Watcher, so I'd love for you to join not too late. This is loosely based on the Amazing Race, so we have different locations that we are traveling to, and these are announced as the month goes. So during the time that I'm filming this video, I will be using a smaller version of my main spinner wheel that has 70 books on it, and choosing every single book from my physical TBR that fits the main prompt that I need to be focusing on. We are starting off the month with our first prompt, which is going to Oz. This year we're going to fictional locations, which I'm really excited about, and now I want to rewatch Wicked. So I looked at my shelves and found all the books that have green as a prominent color on the cover. So I had 7 books, and I'm gonna be somebody just started mowing. I'm gonna be reading one of these. It's the second day of the readathon. Yesterday I had a lot of final things for Escape the Readathon to do. Just very busy. The results for that are in the announcement video for the month, so I'll have that linked in the description if you want to see that. So I did spin yesterday so that if I had a chance to start reading, I could do that. So here is my screen recording with all of the green books on my shelves. And the winner was City of Mirth and Malice by Alexis L. Menard. This is a very, very dark green, but it is green, I promise you. This is the sequel to House of Bane and Blood, which is one of my favorites of the year. Bree also loves this series, so I feel like that is an extra win. So I'm about to go get pizza with my 2 sisters and their kids. I will be jumping back into City of Mirth and Malice. I got 2 chapters in last night, so not very far. But I'm super excited to be back in this world. I love it. It's so unique. I'll tell you a little bit more about the first one when I get back. But I have high hopes that this will be a 5-star, which I desperately need right now. I did get something in the mail. I'm assuming for my birthday because I know it's from my wish list, so I wanted to open it with you. I got House of Shadows by Darcy Coates. This is the first in a two-part duology. That's what it's called. But there was no note in here, no like receipt or anything like I've gotten from bookshop.org in the past. Yeah, nothing in here. So I have no idea who sent this to me, but thank you so much. Winston. We are in Oz. Actually, no, we're not, because I haven't finished my book. We're traveling to Oz, but isn't the path the yellow brick road? Anyway, ignore me. I am clearly delusional 2 days into this. I have made it 176 pages into City of Mirth and Malice, so I'm still working on my prompt to get to Oz. I'm currently hosting sprints. They've been very fun, very entertaining. I went to get pizza with my sisters, and on the way there I was able to listen to the audiobook, and on the way back I wasn't, because I have this issue with the screen in my car. I think it's called delaminating, so it like literally clicks on random things. It has called the air conditioner person without my permission. It hung up on my sister 3 times today. It changes back and forth between my Bluetooth, my radio, AM, FM radio. It has switched to a YouTube video. Like, I don't even know what it's doing, but it's very frustrating. So I wasn't able to listen to the audiobook on the way back. I drove about 45 minutes to meet up with them. So been on sprints and doing some cleaning and listening to the audiobook of this as well. And then there was a while that I just like sat on the couch and read it. And I am really enjoying this. The thing is, I'm not quite as invested as I was in House of Bane and Blood because I don't want to spoil anything. There are events that lead to our two main characters being separated for an amount of time. And I was so obsessed with the first one because I loved their banter. I loved seeing them together and interact and get to know each other, and just like everything about their relationship on top of this world being really cool is what really worked for me. I can't really tell you anything else about this plot without spoiling the first one, but like he is so obsessed with her, and hello. I really love that. I truly do. So in the first one, we are following these two characters. They have a marriage of convenience and they have lots of banter. It's in this steampunk world, and there are different magic systems that people can have that are like based on, don't drink my water. Winston's trying to stick his paw in my cup. Anyway, I'm not going to be able to sell this book because, one, I have a squirrel brain. Two, actually that's mainly the reason. I'm doing really great over here. Hang on. Is this one of my favorite books of the year? Absolutely. Can I tell you really anything about it? No. There are scientists and people with magic. And we are following Camila, and she is the heiress to the most notorious family. And to help her family at the very beginning, she is agreeing to be in this marriage that helps her family have money, continue their power. There's a thing with this train that everybody kind of wants to be in charge of. And then our main character, Nico, comes in and was like, no, don't get married to this person. I'll give your family even more. And she ends up getting married to him. So it's a marriage of convenience. They met right before this happened and had this insane attraction. But then they are kind of butting heads because they didn't know who they were the first time, and she very much doesn't like that he kind of swooped in and swept, oh no, and kind of like got what he wanted, and she kind of had no say in it. And there's a serial kidnapper known as the Collector who has been ravaging the streets, and he's kind of like vigilante working on stuff with this, and if that goes away, then he doesn't need to be married to her anymore. But then there's this, it's called remnant magic, and then there's arcane science, and they are kind of warring. So I did a terrible job at explaining it, but their relationship, the banter, everything about it, I'm truly obsessed with it. It's this very cool, like, dark, gritty world with serial killers, the whole vigilante thing, trying to figure out secrets that everybody has, things like that, and I really, really love it. And this is a duology, so this is a direct continuation, and I want more of their relationship, but it is coming, so I think I will continue to like it even more. But I really enjoyed getting to see more about the scientist aspect of this, so that's been really fun. I just got back from the movies. We saw the new Karate Kid movie, which I didn't like. I don't like the Karate Kid movies. I don't like Cobra Kai. I don't like the idea of just like watching these grown men be aggressive and violent. Not really my thing. If you're gonna be violent, at least be interesting about it. Don't just be like an angry man because you're an angry man. Not my vibe. So we saw that. Last night, I listened to more, where's my book, of Scythe and Mirth and Malice, and then I listened to some more this morning before we went to the movies. We went to a pretty early showing, and then I read a little bit more, and I am now 368 pages into this, and I'm really sad because I'm not obsessed with it the way that I was with the first one. I still think it's going to be 4 stars because I think this world is very unique and interesting, but I want more of the romance. That is why I was so obsessed with the first one. It was my favorite because them together is my favorite thing. This is probably one of my favorite male main characters, but they're not... Here's the thing. I know they can't get to know each other forever, but I really loved that aspect of this. Their banter is just so good, and there's not enough of it in here. I understand why, the way that everything wrapped up in the first one. Moving into this, there was going to be some separation. There was going to be more focus on the plot outside of them. And I knew that, but I'm still upset because I want more of them. The moments that we have with them together, incredible, but I think it's just been a little too action heavy for me, And there was a lot of that in the first one, but I think, I don't know, I just preferred the first one more. And this is still gonna get a high rating from me, but I'm really just like a little bit bummed because I wanted this to be just the absolute best thing, and I just had my own fault, but I had too high of expectations. Oh, sorry, I thought there was a hair, but there's just like a weird dent. I don't know. So I need to finish this up because it's been a couple days, and with this readathon, the new prompts drop pretty quickly, about every 3-ish days, so that we can fit 10 in total. So I need to get a move on. I think I have an hour or so left of reading at my speed, so I should be able to get this done in time. I am really enjoying it. I know I sound like I'm not, but I just want more of Nico. I love seeing Mila through his eyes too, and a lot of it is like him doing things for her, but I want them together. But I'm liking it. I am liking it. This duology is going to be continuing as like duologies set in the same world. So I think that will be interesting, because maybe if we're following somebody else, then I won't be as upset about getting this really, really cool world. So I don't know. I don't know how I could have set this up better for myself. But also, if I absolutely love the end of this, maybe it'll still be 5 stars. Who knows? This sounded so negative, but I'm just upset with myself for my expectations. I am not actually upset with the book. I just went to import my footage for all of this. If I edit as I go, then things are easier for me. I never gave you my final thoughts on City of Mirth and Malice. I wanted to wait a little bit to kind of think about things to decide my rating, and then I just forgot that I never gave you a single update. So I'm between 4 and 4.5 stars for this one. I loved the moments that the characters were together. I think that this world is so unique and interesting. The way that it ended, I feel like there was twist after twist after twist, all these little reveals, and I was like, oh. I mean, I almost got whiplash a little bit, because I feel like something would happen and then it'd be like, oh, and then this, but this. And I was like, okay, what is happening? But I think it was really fun and entertaining. It was fast paced. I think my thing is, I like the overarching plot in the first one versus the second one. The first one felt more of this, like, not murder mystery, but kind of like, it felt more like things that I generally prefer, versus this felt more heist-y. It wasn't a heist. It was like rescue missions, things like that, which I just don't prefer quite as much. But this world is so cool. The magic system is really unique and interesting. I like the characters. I like how things are done. It was just the plot in the first one worked more for me with my personal reading taste. Probably 4 stars if I'm being truly honest with myself. But this is my favorite romantasy duology that I've read. House of Bane and Blood is my favorite romantasy book. I'm very glad that I read this. This is going to have more duologies, and I will absolutely be picking them up. So that is my green book that I finished. It was like an hour to 45 minutes before the prompt dropped. It was what, 6:30, 6:45? So I finished that one just in time. So now I'm going to take you back to last night. Hopefully I won't forget to film any more vlog clips, and we can see my book for leg 2. We have a new prompt. We have a huge stack from my physical TBR for this one. The next prompt has dropped, and I am making my spinner wheel. And I have 12 books on my physical TBR that have a violent word in the title. So I have things like War, Scythe, Hunter, Massacre, Kill, Dead, Death, and I think Barry is the last one. I think that covers my stack here. So I have all of them on my spinner wheel. Let me stand up because I'm scared I'm gonna knock this stack over. I still might knock it over. So here is my spinner wheel spinning in real time this time. Let's see what I get. There's definitely one that I do not want. So let's see how this goes. Wait, this is hilarious because it autocorrected to massage. Can you imagine if this book was called The Cotton Candy Massage? That's actually hilarious. I will be reading The Cotton Candy Massacre Part Toots. I kind of hate that, but the first one was 5 stars, very fun. This is a short one, which is exactly what I wanted for right now. I don't like feeling like I'm behind, and the readathon this year is set up so that there's less of a chance of that happening, but I kind of want to read something and then maybe do a sightseeing prompt. I have to put all these books away. I don't know if I'm going to read any more tonight or start this in the morning, but this is very exciting. It is the sequel to a book, but I believe it's set in a like kind of different thing, so I'll still be able to talk about it, which is nice because City of Mirth and Malice was very difficult for that. I got a package in the mail, so quickly I want to open it with you because I did not buy anything. The first couple orders that I've gotten have had a note with it, but somebody sent me a copy of The Honeys by Ryan Lasala from my wish list. Yeah, there's nothing, there's no note, no like receipt or anything. So if you sent me this, thank you so much. I really love this one. This is a queer horror set at a summer camp. I would highly recommend it. I gave it 5 stars. This is so pretty and I'm really excited to have a copy for my shelf. So once again, thank you to whoever sent me this. Does your dog ever have days where they bark at everything? Because Bowser is barking at people driving down the road. I don't know why I didn't sit down before I started talking. Oop, can't even see me. Talking to you, but I'm a ghost. I'm feeling very chaotic this week. Okay. I have been reading Cotton Candy, The Cotton Candy Massacre Part Toots. I hate saying that out loud. This is okay. I like the first one more. This is a sequel and it is following the aftermath of the first one, but I can actually talk about this one a little bit more. I'm 98 pages in, which is like a little under halfway probably, and we are following the same main character from the first one. And in the first one, I don't know if I even know where it is. My shelves aren't in alphabetical order anymore and I kind of hate it because I don't know where anything is. But in the first one, it is the reopening of a carnival, and based on cotton candy, you can kind of figure out that cotton candy is involved in people going on killing sprees, turning into evil clowns. It's gory, it's gross. So this one is the aftermath. There are clowns still on the loose and our main character is trying to kind of save one because the person that had turned into a clown is somebody she wants to save. So her and this reporter that contacts her and was like, hey, I'd like to interview you because you survived, are going to rescue this character. And she has been very busy and has held some people captive. So that's really all that's happened other than some very gory, disgusting kills. The things that are happening are gross. They're really gross. But I feel like it's not as engaging. They are now at an abandoned, like, Chuck E. Cheese, pretty much. They are at Franklin's Fun Castle. But it doesn't feel as themed as the carnival one did. I listened to the first 100 pages while I was making banana bread muffins. I'm trying to make more things at home and maybe eat less processed stuff. So instead of buying like pre-made breakfasts like bars and stuff, I'm like, well, maybe I guess I could make some banana bread and then just like have a muffin instead. They turned out fine, I think, but I added peanut butter even though the recipe didn't say to do that, so I hope the texture is okay. I'll let you know when I eat one, but I ate a lot for lunch, like more than I have been, and I'm really full and don't really want to eat anymore. So yes, where are we? Oh, going to Scythe. I will get there very soon. I'm gonna finish this today and we will spin for my first sightseeing book. There are 5 prompts for that, so I think I'm just going to look at my shelves, see what we have, and then whichever prompt I have more than 2 of, I will put on a spinner wheel and we will just go through those. I don't anticipate reading more than 1 sightseeing book, but I think it'll be fun to get in an extra book as well. I don't know what I'm feeling for the next one. I am already like moving on from this book. It's fine, it's fine. But I think my problem with this one and City of Mirth and Malice is that both previous books in the series were 5 stars, so I feel a little disappointed because I'm not obsessed like I was with the first one. Hello, me again in the same spot here. Now it's different. and crooked. Okay, I have made 144 pages in. I can't do this anymore. I thought I was liking it at first, but the more we got into the story, the more irritated I have become. I realized that I do not like when children are the main villain. So in the first one, this character is in it, but there's a lot more going on. It starts in this very heavily crowded carnival, and everything that happens impacts multiple people. So we're not just following this small child that is evil and annoying, so annoying. I'm sorry, but if there's any character that punishes someone for cursing, whether it is a child or any sort of like religious thing or like an old person, it makes me angry. I don't even curse that much, but there's just something about it that, like, I don't know, if somebody is in pain and they say something, she's like, cursing, and then does something else to punish them, and I'm like, it actually frustrates me to the point where I'm quitting because I can't read this anymore. I actually can't. I think once I realized what my main issue with this was, and the fact that it just was getting worse and worse and worse, couldn't do it, could not do it. So yeah, I am 144 pages in, which is over halfway, so I will be able to log this for the team. We are now heading to Scythe War College from 4th Wing. So I'm going to log for that. And then we have 5 options for sightseeing that we get double points for this round. So I am going to, I think, pick a book that intimidates me. And by pick a book, I mean I'm gonna pick some from my shelves and put them on the spinner wheel. I'm gonna pick 5 books from my TBR that intimidate me and put them on a spinner wheel, and then I'm going to read one of those. So option 1, I'm putting Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. I gave the first book in the series 5 stars. The second one 4, I believe, and I'm scared of this last one because people haven't been liking it as much, and I desperately want to. So that is the first option. What else could I put on this spinner wheel? Oh, The Vacation, which is by John Mars. Once again, 5-star author. A lot of people don't seem to like this one. I'm going to put Bat Eater as an option because it's a 5-star prediction for me, but I've never read from this author, and it's very intimidating because of that. Like, I have really, really high hopes, and I'm scared I'm going to be let down. I'm also going to put First Time Caller by B.K. Borison because I don't love a lot of romances, but this one has been recommended to me, so I'm scared. And then I need to pick one more. I don't want to pick anything super, super long. And the last one I'm going to put is one called Standalone. It's on my June TBR. I avoid it because it doesn't have an audiobook, and with my current focus, reading with my eyeballs is very intimidating. So these are the 5 books on the wheel that I just made. We're gonna see what I get. I'm actually scared of any of these choices. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. Okay. A change of pace. We're reading very widely with genres in this video. Oh, I'm actually really scared. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. I am obsessed. I'm having the absolute best time with this book. I'm gonna back up so I don't scream. Oh. We're gonna get real comfy. Okay, hang on. Let me take my headphones off. I'm not prepared to talk to you. Sorry if you can hear my air conditioner. I am 142 pages into First Time Caller, and I'm completely obsessed. This is going to be 5 stars. It's been 5 stars since probably the second page, but I wanted to like give myself a second to decide that that was true, because I'm on Patreon Sprints, and I told them, I was like, oh, I'm liking it, but I didn't want to call it that early and then have my opinion change. But I love everything about this book. We might have a special guest in a second too. No, maybe not. You need to clean your foot. Anyway, so in this we are following Aiden Valentine and Lucy Stone. And Aiden is a love talk show radio host. It's a late night show, Winston, where people can call in and talk about their love things. So at the very beginning, Lucy is hearing noises in her house, and she thinks that there's a ghost. And it turns out that her daughter, who is 13, I believe, is talking on the phone. and then she hears a man and she freaks out. And then it turns out that her daughter has called into this radio show to get advice for her mom, and she ends up talking to him and is very vulnerable and ends up going viral because of it. So because of the huge positive, once again, it's a barking day, the huge positive like public outpouring of support, they have invited her to come on and be part of a show that is focused on her finding love. This is dual timeline. Nope, that's not what I meant. This is dual perspective. So we are getting both Lucy and Aiden's perspectives. And Aiden is a little jaded. I'm assuming there's something that has happened in his past that we are not aware of yet that has made him not really believe in love anymore. But this conversation with Lucy is having him question things. So they have this like very instant connection and I'm obsessed with it. And they're both into each other, but they don't really want to admit it. And just like watching them be like, oh, I can't like, they're in this small radio booth and whenever they touch hands, they know that they have this spark, but he's trying to help her find love somewhere else, and she has agreed to go on this whole thing. So I love the whole setup. It's very fun. I love that her daughter called her in. She had her kid when she was in high school, and she is neighbors with the father of her kid. They have a good relationship, but he is married to this guy. So they have this like blended family, but they don't live together. And the daughter just wants her mom to be happy. And obviously they are going to be together because I personally need them to be, and like obviously that's what this is. But this is also set in Baltimore, which is where I live, so it's fun to hear places that have been talked about. There's this kind of cookie called Burgers, Bergers cookies, that is I guess a local brand, which I have not had, so I am going to get some in this video because I need to have them. But I am having the absolute best time. I'm giggling. I am obsessed with every little moment of them interacting. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's incredible. I'm not done, but it's 5 stars. I don't think that this book could do anything that would not make it 5 stars. I'm not the biggest romance reader. I do read some. I've been reading some more romantasy, and then like I give Ali Hazelwood's books 5 stars, but a lot of them just aren't my favorite, and this one is just making me feel all the feelings that I'm supposed to be feeling with a romance book, and when they work for me, they work so well. So I am obsessed and having the best time. Also, yes, I love Ali Hazelwood's books, but this feels very different. And it's funny. It's very funny. I'm obsessed. Part of me is like, I need to pre-order the second book now, but since she's a local author, I think I'm going to go to an event next year. So I'll be able to get a book then, get this signed. I gotta go. I gotta keep reading. Sorry Winston didn't join us. I'm obsessed. I should have taken my headphones off. Every time I do this, I feel like I'm screaming because I can't hear, and I can't talk with them on. So I have made it 300 pages into First Time Caller, which is 70%. I'm obsessed. I'm having actually the best possible time with this. I love their banter. I love the situation that they are in. I love watching them get to know each other. I'm currently on Patreon sprints and they're watching me. So anyway, I've been called out, but I really love it. There is just something about this that is everything that I want. I really enjoy seeing a character that has spent a lot of her time prioritizing other people, and not because like of anything bad. Like obviously she had to take care of her kid and she wanted to be a good mom, but then seeing her taking the time to put herself first, and it's been mentioned that like you have to do that as a parent because you are then teaching your kids that that is what they need to do. And obviously there are different circumstances where you're not in a position of that being something that is feasible at that time, but I think there comes a moment where if there is something that you can do to show your kids that they should take care of themselves, you should. Coming from someone that is not a parent. But yeah, I think it's so fun. I love the tension. I am enjoying seeing her trying to go on these dates with other people and just constantly thinking about Aiden and seeing them slowly realize that they are into each other, and it's incredible. The tension that they have, like, why are they still trying to put this off? Why? I don't understand, because they need to be together. I need it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'm loving it. This still is a 5-star read for me. It's, what is that? It's one of those ones where I don't want it to be over. Oh, a preview of Love Light Farms. I don't want it to be over, but I want it to be over because I just want to finish it. I want to know the whole story. I will absolutely be reading the second book in this. This is my first time reading from B.K. Borson, and I need to read more. I've talked to my friend Michelle, who did recommend this to me, and I think this is still her favorite, she said, but I'm interested in reading more from this author because I like her writing. I'm going to finish this tonight, which is very exciting for me personally. I don't know the last time I read a book that was 435 pages this quickly, which really is saying something. Oh, it's upside down. I finished this. I'm obsessed. It's midnight. I have been reading this nonstop since 6 p.m. pretty much, and I was also on Patreon sprints, so taking breaks to talk to people. I loved this. I loved it. It was everything that I wanted. It was everything that I hoped and dreamed for with a romance. Definitely one of my personal favorite romances, rom-coms. I liked seeing these characters get to know each other, but also learn more about themselves and what they wanted out of their relationship during this process. Like, oh, it was so good. It was so good. I don't really have anything else to say. I've said it all, and I didn't realize how tired I was until I started talking to you, and my eyes won't focus. So that's great. I am logging this for 200 points for my team for an intimidating read, and because we can continue to read for the same sightseeing prompts, I'm going to just go for another intimidating read. We will be using the same spinner wheel, and I think I'm just gonna add one more to it so that there's 5 books on it again. So I'm looking at my shelves and I'm trying to decide what I count as intimidating. Really things that I don't typically read. It's hard because like I did get all of these, but some of them are scary. Some are scarier than others, and I'm being nice to myself right now and not putting them on this list. Okay, I have 2 previous 5-star authors, 2 5-star predictions. We're gonna go with one that is not a genre I typically read. So I'm going to add Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. This is a cozy mystery. I gave the first one in the series 4.5 stars and I really enjoyed it. So if it's with an author I have read and also disliked from before, but because it's not something that I typically read, I usually need a little bit more of a push to pick it up. I do like cozy mysteries, but I'm never like running out of my way to get to them. So let's see what we have. Okay, that's very exciting. I'm not going to read any more of that tonight. I might read a little bit of my manga that I started. Happiness, it's vampires. But like I don't have the brain capacity to read more than like 2 pages of that before I pass out. Actually, you can't tell what this is. I am reading Bat Eater. This is the Evernight special edition with this alternate cover. And this is what the naked hardback looks like. It's very pretty. And then these are the sprayed edges. And I have made it 104 pages in. I am not liking this as much as I thought I was going to. I'm a little upset about it. I just like in my brain was like, this is going to be a 5-star. It's going to be a favorite book. and I don't know what it is, but it's just not living up to the hype that I built up in my own head and the hype that a lot of other people are building up. I don't think it's bad, but there is just not really anything happening at this point. I kind of feel like the most interesting thing that happened was one of those situations that it was like, oh, actually, just kidding, that was a dream. And I don't know. So in this, we are following Cora Zhang, and it is set in 2020 with the COVID pandemic and the increase in hate towards Asian people, calling them bat eaters, the hate crimes that have happened. Our main character is on the subway and somebody pushes her sister in front of a train and she dies, and then she is trying to move on, live her life, and she is a crime scene cleaner now, and she works with these two people and they're just cleaning up crime scenes, and she's not living with her aunt, but there is her aunt that is kind of like her mother figure, because their mother isn't really in the picture, and the father moved back to China a long time ago and just pays for certain things for her. I think that I'm missing the really creepy elements in here. Obviously, the way that Asian people were and are treated because of COVID is horrific by itself, but we're not even getting a lot of that either. I want either more detailed, disturbing, gross things with this crime scene cleaning, or the kind of creepy element that it was leaning into for like half a second, right where I ended, but not much is going on, and I'm not feeling the tension. I'm fine if it's very slow moving and we are exploring things and are just like building up to whatever is happening, but that's not really happening for me yet, and I'm really sad about it. I think that this could continue to get better for me, because the one moment of something I was like, wait a second, here we go, but then it was like, hee, no, just kidding. So I'm back to wanting more. And I don't love that. I don't love it, but it's fine. I need to stop thinking about books before I read them, putting expectations on them. I'm just ruining my own time. But I wish I was loving this as much as everybody else, but I'm not hating it at all. It could definitely go up from here. I could still give it a pretty high rating, but I'm feeling very differently than I expected to. I'm trying out new angles. It's very glowing behind me now. I also just realized that I picked the way facing my air conditioner, so sorry about that. So I'm now 205 pages into Bat Eater, and I'm liking this a lot more than I was at the beginning. I think at the beginning I was kind of feeling a lack of emotion in the book. Our main character, I think, is really trying to process her grief in a way that works for her, which makes sense. But she wasn't really expressing her feelings, and we weren't getting a lot of how things that happened to her and her community were making her feel. And we really started to get that since I last checked in with you. There have been moments of extreme frustration with the way that her community, with Asian people, with Chinese people, are treated. This is also so far the best COVID book that I have read. I am not somebody that like desperately wants to read about COVID and that whole experience again. I lived through it. Not a fun time. And I feel like a lot of times that it's mentioned in books, it's just there to kind of make the author's point on specific things known. And this is very much the story. And I feel like in this context, it doesn't bother me. First of all, it is not my experience, which I am heartbroken by the fact that anybody had to go through things like this. It's very much real life things. The hate that was spewed, it impacted so many people. It took so many lives. It's truly awful. And I'm appreciating seeing our main character's reaction to those things. It doesn't just feel like this is a COVID book for the sake of being a COVID book and like being real life. It feels real life, and that stuff is very horrific. And we are also more into the supernatural kind of horror stuff as well. So there is something called the Hungry Ghost Festival that has impacted the book more than our main character was expecting it to. Her aunt has a lot of like cultural specific traditions and opinions that she doesn't necessarily agree with or isn't super familiar with, but they are coming into play in this. And then we know our main character is a crime scene cleaner, and she and her coworkers that she always works with are noticing this string of possibly related murders that all deal with bats. So I'm really liking how everything is woven together. I like the aspects of the culture and dealing with how awful this time was for Asian people, specifically Chinese people in this case. I like the creepy elements in here. I'm excited to get even more from that because it's starting to ramp up in a way that I am really enjoying. I'm liking this a lot more than I was. I was enjoying the beginning, but I definitely wanted more from it. We're starting to get that, and I'm having a really good time with it. You know what? 5 stars. The further this book went, the more and more I was liking it. I ended up truly loving the discussions in here, the way that everything was woven together, the horror in here. I felt sick, not like sick from gross, like disgusting, icky stuff. I mean, it all is sick, disturbing, icky, but like in a different way. Like I didn't want to throw up because something was gross and disgusting. Like we're not eating eyeballs here, okay? But there's a lot of disturbing descriptions in here. I mean, our main character is cleaning up crime scenes, and then there is a lot of other things that come into play later on. I will say, I think this could have been more gruesome for my personal taste. I wouldn't want much more, but just a little bit. I feel like the stuff that really, really impacted me was the cultural discussions with Chinese people and COVID, and the way that that was woven into this story. It's a hard discussion to have because there are a lot of things in history that are horrific, right? But then are we saying that everything that is bad that happens makes it horror? Like, is historical fiction just horror if it is of a horrific thing? Like, personally, I don't think so. So I think that there's a specific way that it has to be done. And the way that this was done in here was so effective. I think it got its point across without being too in your face. It was very much saying what it wanted to say. Everything wrapping up, how everything came together, how these discussions and ideas and the culture and the superstitions and everything just, I don't know, it came together very, very well. I became more and more invested as the book went on. I don't know if this is going to end up on my favorites of the year list because I do still think the beginning was a little bit slow for me, but it also makes sense with the story, so I'm not mad about it. So yeah, this ended up being 5 stars for me. I was very invested in the end. I was rooting for our main character. I loved seeing her embrace certain things, accept certain parts of herself that she was maybe scared to, but also not giving in to things that she didn't want to. So I really, really ended up enjoying this. So I will be logging this for the intimidating sightseeing prompt. I might have said that I got 200 points for first time caller, but it's actually doubled because I'm reading it in the current leg. If you read it before we move on to other sightseeing prompts, you get double points. So 400 points for Bat Eater. I think we have time for another sightseeing book, so we're just going to keep going for intimidating reads. Also, I'm not going to go over all of my specific points for everything, but I did use a power-up card for City of Mirth and Malice to get double points for the page count because I think that'll be the longest book I read this month, and I did not use one for this leg for leg 2. I'm going to take a break, maybe hunt some ghosts, and pick a new book in a little bit. I have time for one more book, I'm hoping. I don't know when the prompt is going to drop, but maybe I'll have time to finish this one. Once again, we're going to do an intimidating read. I don't want to add any more to the spinner wheel, so we're going to go with the 4 that are left. So let's see what we get. Scythe and Sparrow. Very excited about this one, but also very scared. I'm 120 pages into Scythe and Sparrow, and I'm having a really fun time with this one. I, at this moment, feel like my enjoyment is in between Butcher and Blackbird being at the top and Leather and Lark being at the bottom. Leather and Lark wasn't quite as entertaining as I wanted it to be compared to Butcher and Blackbird. That one made me laugh. It was entertaining, it was engaging. I don't think it's a perfect book, but it was 5 stars for me. So in this one we are following Rose, who is somebody that like rides the bikes in the big giant wheel at carnivals and things. So she does these stunts which are very impressive and very risky, and she also reads tarot cards. And she has somebody come in, she's doing this reading, and then her very much of an asshole husband comes in and was like, this is fake, it's a bunch of shit, like takes the money that his wife had paid her. And she is like, no. So she has somebody that I guess is good at pickpocketing and brings him in and was like, hey, I need you to take $20 and this guy's license. And he does, and she ends up going to his house because she wants to kill him. She wants to help this woman out, and she thinks that it's clear that she's not going to be able to get out of this situation on her own. This guy ends up beating her with a bat, and she drags herself to our male main character's house. He is a doctor, and he is the brother of the 2 male main characters from the first 2. And he is kind of like outside of the realm of killing that his brothers are in. He has dedicated his life to being a doctor and doing good to kind of reverse something that happened with his family in the past. And she kind of like crawls into his clinic, I guess maybe to try to get supplies to help herself or whatever. And he catches her and is like, you gotta go to the hospital. So he then kind of becomes suspicious because the guy had come in with eyeball scraping issues, and he kind of puts it together and ends up having her live at his house because the carnival had to pick up and leave. They couldn't just stay because she was injured, and they pretty much just left her behind, and she ends up staying with him. One, because she can't really even get into her house. I believe she lives in a trailer, so it's raised up, and she never got any steps to get into it because she just didn't need it before. So he kind of decides he's going to take care of her, and he is a little confused because he's like, why am I doing this? Because he doesn't normally put this much care into patients. But they are having this fun banter. Our main character feels different from the other 2. He's clearly similar enough to them, but also he does things like crocheting with this group of old ladies and goes to meetings. And there's a raccoon that he has named Barbara. And right now, our main character, Rose, is deciding that she still wants to go get this guy, but she needs to practice first, and decides to enlist him to help her with the cleanup, which is a lot of trust to put in somebody that you barely know, but you know, he kind of covered for her previously, so she just like feels that she can trust him, which suspicious. This whole series you have to kind of just be like, yeah, sure, whatever, do whatever, that makes sense, even though maybe it doesn't, but that's okay. I'm having a fun time with it. I'm not obsessed, but it's enjoyable. I'm really curious why people hate this one, because I'm not hating it so far. It's getting late. I'm about to go to bed, but I just got 256 pages into Scythe and Sparrow, so I wanted to give you an update before I went to bed. I do plan on finishing this off in the morning, which I am excited about. I am liking this. I think it's entertaining, it's fast-paced. I feel like the stuff that Rose is doing with her kind of vigilante stuff is sprinkled in at the perfect times, and I am liking getting more of Fionn as we go. It still is not nearly as fun for me as Butcher and Blackbird was, which I've just accepted that that is going to be the case for this series. But a really fun thing is that this is taking place at the same time as Butcher and Blackbird did and parts of Leather and Lark. So this one is not just a straightforward starting at this time and we're following them for a certain amount of time. There's been time jumps, there's been 6 months, a year, And it's interesting to see that depiction of a relationship in a more dark rom-com kind of book, because I feel like usually it is just they meet, immediately fall in love, and happily ever after. I like seeing that it is taking place over a longer period of time, so the characters can really figure things out on their own. Not that we're seeing that, but I do appreciate seeing that not everything is a whirlwind 2-month long situation and then you're married happily ever after forever. I like the sense of purpose that Rose has. I do think that there's a lot of like conveniences in here, but that doesn't bother me. I am generally having a fun time with this. I'm just tired and I'm not obsessed, so since I don't have that adrenaline to move me forward, I feel very low energy about it right now, but it's fun. It's a good time. I don't understand the absolute hate towards it. Obviously there are people that like it, but I've seen so many people saying that they pretend this one doesn't exist, which I don't know. I don't understand. I personally am having a fun time with it. Oh, the curse of glasses. Good morning. I woke up and finished Scythe and Sparrow. I got through most of it last night. I actually finished the technical book, but there's 2 epilogues and a bonus chapter, so it took me about 20 minutes to finish the rest of that this morning. I did enjoy this. It is my second favorite in the series. Butcher and Blackbird is at the top, then Scythe and Sparrow, then Leather and Lark. I did enjoy all of them. I looked and apparently I gave Leather and Lark 4.5 stars, which I don't know how I feel about that now. I guess in the moment that's how I was feeling, but it's definitely a very forgettable one for me. But I guess since I gave that one 4.5 stars, I also have to give this one 4.5 stars because this was not quite 5 stars. I was never completely invested in either the romance or the plot, even though I was enjoying all of it. I enjoyed the humor that was in here. I liked Rose as a main character. I liked seeing their relationship. This felt more, okay, it can't be real life because like there's a lot of things that are not real life in these books, but it felt more realistic to like the timeline of some real life relationships with the time jumps and things like that. But I can see how people wouldn't like this because of that as well. So yeah, I guess 4.5 stars for this one, and another book down for an intimidating read. I probably would have continued to put this one off for a while, so I'm glad that this one was picked. I need to go get ready for the day, and I think I'm gonna join Katie's sprint soon and probably edit. I'm not sure what I want to read next. I've been kind of speeding through the rest of these books, and I just need to take a little bit of a break from that. So I think I'm going to edit, maybe work on some stuff for my Patreon, and then I don't know. Today is the 6th, so I really feel like a prompt is gonna drop today. So I think I might just wait for that, honestly. I do need to go through the comments on the last video where you all picked the ones you wanted to read. I need to see what the top 3 are. Just a reminder, you get to do that for this video as well. I did share at the very beginning what my TBR looks like. If you happen to comment one of the books that I have read in this video, you can edit your comment and change it. At the end, I'll show you my TBR as well. Also, thankfully, the books that I've gotten in this video, I already read, so they don't get added to all of this, which is very good for me personally and this whole project. I will say I need the spinner wheel to start picking some books that I got last year instead of this year. I did get one, but yeah, I'm happy with this. This video generally is going pretty well, and I'll probably talk to you when the next prompt drops. Bowser is here. I just woke up from a very long nap. What have I done today? Oh, I finished Scythe and Sparrow this morning, and then I was on Katie's sprints for a while, and during that, the next prompt dropped. So we are now at the capital of Panem from the Hunger Games, which I love the Hunger Games. Capital is an interesting place. So the next prompt is to read a book with an over-the-top cover. And we, in this game, have power-up cards, and we get 5 for the whole thing, and you can earn some as you go, but the ones you start with, you have 2 that you can replace the prompt, well, pretty much get rid of the prompt and read whatever you want for it. So I do like this prompt. I have books I could read for this prompt, but I think I want this to be the last book of this video. So I went through, and the 3 top comments from the last video that I did, none of them really have over the top covers. So I think I'm opening boxes, by the way. So I think I'm going to use one of my power-up cards and just read whatever the winner of the spinner wheel is. But I did get 2 boxes in the mail from my wish list. So I'm going to open one. We're going to spin for my final book. Then I'm going to open the other package, and then I will get to reading. Actually, one of the 3 would count for an over-the-top cover. So I'm kind of hoping that's the one we get. I don't know. We'll see. So in this first box, I don't know who this is from because there's no name on it, but this is from one of the 8 booktubers that I had as a game master for Escape the Readathon. And it just says, "Thanks for asking me to be a game master. I hope you enjoyed these books." And they sent the last one by Will Dean, which I've read and really enjoyed and wanted a copy for my shelves, especially because this is one that I would put in different recommendation videos. And then Phantom Limb by Lucinda Berry, which is one of my favorite authors. I have not read this one, and I'm super excited to get to it. So it doesn't really matter since we're not using the main spinner wheel and we're just down to the final 3, but this one will be going onto the main wheel. But the 3 books that people wanted to see me read most were, once again, ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. This was on the wheel last time, and I believe it's the only one that is a repeat. I currently don't have my copy. My sister is borrowing it. The other one is This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead, and the third one is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. So let's see what we get. Deep End is one that I would count for this prompt. The other 2, oh god. Oh, okay. Okay. I was scared it was ACOTAR. I was really scared. This is a romance heavy vlog, and I will be able to count this one. So an over the top cover is up to interpretation, but this has these like the shiny foil, it's not foil, but you can see the droplets on it. It has that, and I have this first edition print. So I will be ending off with Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Okay, so while I open this other box, I'm going to show you my physical TBR again. So just a reminder, you can leave a comment with up to 3 books on it, and the same thing will happen at the end of the next episode. Oh, this is from another one of the Game Masters for Escape the Readathon. This is from Sam, from Samantha Donovan. She got me Spy Family Volume 1 and They Never Learn by Lane Fargo, which I have really enjoyed both of these already, so I'm not adding another one to my physical TBR. But I'm excited to have both of these on my shelves. Once again, they're ones that I recommend and really enjoyed. So since I collect the things that I love, it sounds really creepy. I'm really excited to have a copy of both of these for my shelves. So thank you so much to Sam. I don't know who the other one is from. I mean, I have a very limited selection, especially considering this one is from Sam. So thank you so much. This was a very heavy vlog of people sending me things, but my birthday just happened, and Escape the Readathon, which both of these that I opened today were because of that. But thank you to anybody that ever sends me anything, specifically the people that sent me stuff in this video. I don't expect to get anything else in this video, so the rest of this we will be focusing on Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I've loved everything except for the short story collections that I've read from this author, so I'm very excited. Wow, I really didn't expect to read so much romance in this video. It's fine. I'm having a good time. Hi. I wanted to show you Winston, but he's so tiny. I have significantly, let me fix you, slowed down. Okay, doing great over here. You're too short. Okay, I have significantly slowed down with my reading. Reading 3 books in 2 days was too much, and I very much wanted to do that in the moment, but now I'm like, take a breath. And I don't need to fly through things. So I am now 150 pages into Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This book is too long. I don't think it needs to be this long. I am an Ali Hazelwood lover. I enjoy the characters that she writes. I like the elements of science that she has in a lot of her books. I like her characters. I already said that. It's almost midnight. I've just been laying here reading. And in this one we are following a swimmer and a diver, and they are not the same thing, but they are in a lot of the same spaces. Our main character, Scarlett, is a diver, and she very much kind of like keeps to herself, doesn't really interact with anybody on either of the teams. She does a little bit, she knows of some people, but she keeps her head down. She has some stuff that she's dealt with in her past, and she also is a med student, so she is very focused on that. She also is dealing with the aftermath of this injury. It happened a couple years ago, but since that happened, she has had these kind of blocks that makes diving even harder for her. And then there's also Lucas, who is the star swimmer. He's won, what is it called? Something with an A, some swimming thing. He's gone to the Olympics and has a medal. He's very, very impressive. And she's never really thought about him until somebody that is on her dive team, who is in this like the it couple relationship. Her name is Penn and then Lucas, and they break up because she wants to experience things with other people, and he is very into kink related things. That is what this book is, and our main character is also into that. So Penn is like, oh, you two should hook up, and Penn is already like trying to get with other people, so it's not a big deal, and they're also not really friends until this book. She kind of finds herself in this situation at the beginning that ends up leading to her having a friendship, but it's not like they were friends when she was dating Lucas. So we're just watching her try to overcome things with her past, both with her family, with this diving injury, and kind of not accepting herself because she knows who she is and what she wants, and she doesn't have any issues with that, but kind of allowing somebody else to be part of that space in her life. I don't feel any sort of feelings towards this relationship, towards the characters. I think it's fine. It's a decent read, but it's definitely not my favorite Ali Hazelwood at this moment. I absolutely don't think it needs to be this long. Where I am right now, I feel like really the start of the book is happening. Nothing has happened between them other than just like the very bare minimum, and not even in a way that I feel like there's a lot of like exciting tension or banter. He's very dry and straightforward, and I mean she is a little bit too, but there's just not any sort of like connection that I'm feeling. And really this book is supposed to be about sex. It's not supposed to be this romantic thing at the moment, so that's fine. They clearly like each other outside of that, but I don't know, it's just not exactly what I want and prefer in a book like this. And I knew it was extremely different from a lot of her other stuff going into it, but I'm just not enjoying it quite as much. I will finish it because it's Ali Hazelwood. If it was not, I'd probably just quit reading because nothing is super engaging, but I don't have any issues with it either. I think it's interesting to learn about some of this stuff, and nothing has been talked about in a way that feels like people should not have kinks and whatever, so that's good. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not that entertained. I'm not that invested, which I'm kind of sad about because this is really pretty, but I'm gonna keep it anyway. Good morning. I got a little more than halfway into Deep End last night, and then this morning I have gotten to 315 pages in. I am enjoying this one, but I haven't felt any of the feelings that I want to feel whenever I'm reading like a 5-star romance. I think this one is more interesting to me versus like I feel like I'm reading a romance, because that is a part of it, but there's a lot of this stuff with her and her diving competitions and learning how to deal with things of her past. While I do love Ali Hazelwood, I think that I've been really enjoying dual perspective romances more than single POV. I really like getting both people in the relationship's perspective on everything that's happening, and we just don't get that in this, and I think that that would be adding to my enjoyment because Lucas is so stoic and reserved, and it's very clear that he cares about Scarlett, but I don't know, I'm just not feeling the feelings I want to feel when I'm reading a romance. I do love the little nods to the love hypothesis in here. That's very fun. But I'm just not obsessed. And that's fine. It'll probably be 3.5 stars. But I definitely think this is too long as well. So I don't really have anything else to say other than that. Also, not related to this book, but I am going to lower my rating for both Leather and Lark and Scythe and Sparrow. I'm going to put them both at 4 stars. The more I think about it, like, they're not 4.5 star reads. I thought that I gave Leather and Lark 4 stars, and then I felt like I had to give Scythe and Sparrow 4.5 because I gave Leather and Lark that, and I liked Scythe and Sparrow more. But I feel like they're both 4-star reads for different reasons, which might not matter to anybody but me for them being 4 versus 4.5, but I just needed to share that. Breaking news from Brie. I have some information to share with you. So as of right now, there is at least one team ahead of the Steel Watchers. I don't know who, I don't know how many, but we are only 2 points behind the team that we are directly behind. So there's that information for you. I've been told to share. I don't know what to do about it, but now we know. I have finished Deep End. I ended up enjoying this. It's not my favorite from Ali Hazelwood, but I think I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. I do think it was too long. I did enjoy the aspects of the diving and stuff in here, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of her book Check and Mate, which is chess focused, but I feel like the way that she focused on telling that story versus this one are very similar. I did enjoy that one more. I gave that one 5 stars. Really, I think if this was shorter, I would have enjoyed it more, and I also just wanted more of their relationship. I'm someone that likes romances where I'm giggling and I don't actually kick my feet, but giggling, screaming, kicking my feet, like that saying. I want those feelings. I am not as interested in just exploring relationships between people in this format. I prefer to do that in horror books and thrillers sometimes, but I did overall enjoy it. I read all of the contemporary romance on my shelves in this vlog, which is kind of funny. I did log this for the Amazing Readathon for the main prompt, so I get the points for the page. I did use a power-up card, and I also did read Happiness Volume 2, which is the second one in the manga I told you about earlier, so that counts for sightseeing as well. So I believe I started this video with 70 books on my physical TBR, and I have now read 6 of them. So reading all of these takes me down to 64. And then I got quite a few books in this video as well, but I have read all but 2. So that puts me at 66, which I think is really great. Definitely making progress, but I didn't read nearly as much from my books that I got before this year as I would like to, because my goal with all of this is that I don't want to have books on my physical TBR for longer than a year. So in theory, everything that I got last year, I need to read this year. And I have definitely read some, but not as much as I would like to. I'm looking at my shelves now, and I definitely need to figure out videos for some of these books as well. It is not too late to join the Amazing Readathon, so I'd love to have you on my team. You can backlog anything that you have read this month already to get caught up. Also, if you can't read 10 books in a month, that is okay as well, because your points still count for what the team is currently working on. So I would love for you to join us. Just a reminder to leave a comment with the 3 books you would most like me to read in the next video. They will be put on a spinner wheel at the end as well. If you've read any of these books, I'd love to know your thoughts on them. I had a very successful video. If you made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say you were here, you can leave me a Ferris wheel because there's no spinner wheel emoji, or something pool related for Deep End. Once again, thank you so much to anybody that sent me a book in this video. I really, really appreciate you. If you want to watch the first 2 episodes and haven't seen them, you can watch them here. There will be another episode coming out, hopefully the beginning of July. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope to see you very soon. Bye.